Hello everybody, meteorologist Jacob Campbell here once again with your WeatherNow forecast. So before we get into the forecast for Thursday and Friday, I do want to talk about the severe storm risk for today that I made a video about on Monday. So I said that there would be a slight risk for severe storms in the Oklahoma-Kansas area. However, upon further investigation, it turns out the dew points are a little too low to support severe storm genesis. So that's good news for the people of Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. Basically, the dew points have to be at least 55 degrees Fahrenheit to really spark severe weather. Because if they're not, if they're lower than that, they can't, when they warm up, they can't shoot through the atmosphere and produce the updrafts strong enough to support hail, tornadoes, and whatnot. So you guys will still see thunderstorms. It's just very unlikely that they're going to be severe, which is very good news for you guys. Anyway, we do have a severe storm chance for Friday. The dew points are high enough. The CAPE is high enough. The vorticity is high enough. I've checked it all. And so I do want to talk about that later in this video. Moving on. So we've got this center of high pressure in Canada that's moving down, bringing temperatures in the 30s to Montana, North Dakota, and Minnesota. And we also see that there's a jet stream kind of really defined in these areas where you're going to see 50s and 60s through the northwest, dipping into the Rocky Mountains, and then moving up north through the Great Lakes area, and then just south of New England, and even some through New England. So temperatures to the north of that jet stream, you can expect colder high temperatures, and areas to the south of that jet stream, you can expect warmer high temperatures. So the northeast area is going to be a little colder than the majority of the country, with temperatures in northern Maine really in the 30s to 40s, and in southern Maine and the rest of really New England, you guys are going to see temperatures in the 40s to 50s. Along that jet stream, you're going to see temperatures in the 50s to 60s, but if you live south of it, you are going to see some really spring-like temperatures. Temperatures in the 60s throughout much of the Midwest, throughout parts of the East Coast and the West Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina area, as well as through parts of Kansas, Colorado, and off to the West Coast, as most of California is going to be in that 60-degree range. Just south of it, through Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, part of Colorado, part of Kansas, Oklahoma, and south, you guys are going to see temperatures in the 70s. So it's going to be really nice for you guys, except that the separation between warm and cold is going to generate a cold front that will bring some rain and thunderstorms throughout actually much of the United States on Thursday. Nothing looks to be severe at this point. I'll keep you all up to date, but it just looks to be like there will be some, thunderstorm activity through the area. Much of the deep south here is going to see temperatures in the 70s, and then we go even further than that, and in parts of Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and Southern California, as well as along the Gulf Coast and in Florida, you guys are going to see temperatures in the 80s. And so you guys are going to see some fairly warm days today and tomorrow. And another thing to talk about is the Rocky Mountains are even looking to warm up, which could cause snowmelt. So if you live in river valleys off of mountains, be on the lookout for potential river flooding just from the snowmelt that comes down. The low temperatures in those areas are going to be below freezing, though, so those it could cause for some dangerous roadways in the area, as essentially when the water melts and then refreezes at night, it could cause some hazards. So just be on the lookout for that if you live in those mountainous areas. Moving on to Friday's high temps, we see that there is a very strong cold front building right in this area between Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas, and this is what is going to fuel the convection needed for severe weather. So we've got cold air essentially sliding below the warm air, forcing the warm air to rise, and then it's a chain reaction that creates large thunderstorms and large lines of thunderstorms. And the stronger the gradient, oftentimes the stronger the storm. So we've got temperatures in the 40s, pushing out temperatures in the 90s not 90s, 80s. Sorry, the 90s are a little further south than that. And along that cold front, you just see this gradient going from 80s to 70s to 60s to 50s to 40s. This area of 30s is mainly mountaintop cooling, so that doesn't really have much to do with the cold front. But you do see that jet stream is pushing further south, bringing more areas into that 40 to 50 degree range. And most of the Midwest still stays fairly warm, so you'll get temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and then the further south you go, really the more warm you're going to get. There wasn't much of a change that I saw in the Northeast, so their temperatures are going to stay about the same in the 40s and 50s in southern Maine, and then 30s to 40s in northern Maine, and really 50s and 60s throughout most of the New England and East Coast area. Going further south along the East Coast, you're going to see temperatures in the 60s, and then even south from that, you'll get temperatures in the 70s. But there are 90-degree temperatures creeping in from Mexico into Texas that are going, I mean, it's just going to be really warm for you guys, getting 90-degree days this early. Parts of Florida are still seeing those 80-degree temperatures, but the areas along the Gulf Coast are going to cool down a little bit, and so you won't see temperatures in the 80s, but you will still see temperatures in the mid to high 70s in that area. Moving on to the storm risk. This is for Thursday. Doesn't look to be anything severe at this point, but you can see that jet stream area that I kind of laid out earlier. You guys are going to get some thunderstorm activity along that. And so most of it is just going to be some rain and thunderstorms. There may be some snowfall depending on when the thunderstorms move through the Rocky Mountains. And the West Coast is also going to be getting some rain. They've been getting really a lot of rain this winter and spring. So fortunately, you guys are officially out of a drought, and that's a really good thing. Hopefully that trend will continue. But the midsection of the country, the Great Plains area, even going into the Midwestern area, you guys are going to see some thunderstorms on Thursday. Once again, nothing too big to write home about. Friday, on the other hand, so as of right now, the Storm Prediction Center only has a marginal risk for severe storms for pretty much this area. But with a combination of the high dew point, the very, very large cold front pushing through, and the Cape values and vorticity values, I think that parts of Oklahoma and northern Texas could see some tornado outbreaks and could see some hail. So I have put you guys under an enhanced risk, and I'm expecting that in the next day or so, the Storm Prediction Center will do the same. I think that parts of Oklahoma could even be put under a moderate risk, but I don't want to go too far at this point. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does, and we'll see what the models continue to say. But all that thunderstorm activity has moved east and has gotten into the Great Lakes area and the Midwest, parts of the Ohio River Valley and the Mississippi River Valley, really where we saw that jet stream push to the south. You guys are going to be experiencing some thunderstorm activity. Nothing too severe outside of the regions that I've marked, but Oklahoma City and really south of Oklahoma City, you guys are in an enhanced risk for severe storms. And just around that enhanced risk, you're in a slight risk. The slight risk area is looking more like it'll just be large hail as the main threat. That enhanced risk area is the area that I've pinpointed with the highest chance for tornadoes. So I would remain cautious on Friday. It could get ugly for some of those areas. I'll continue to watch it, and I may put out a video tomorrow if the models show anything too different from what I've been saying today. This is just from what I'm seeing, the most likely scenario for the Oklahoma, Texas area. Kansas, you'll see some severe weather, but it'll mainly be in the form of winds and hail. So you don't really have to worry about tornadoes too much, although anywhere in this marginal risk and the slight risk and enhanced risk, tornadoes could happen. Anywhere in any of these thunderstorms, really, tornadoes could happen. It's just that it's really not likely in those other areas. So I hope that you all enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell your friends if you enjoyed it. I look forward to hearing from all of you in the comments section. So thank you, and have a great day.